648 Shir Chadash. Just want to remind but really, we want to just take a moment to ground ourselves for Shabbat. Take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. It has been a very, very long week. My name is Rabbi Amy Hertz. My colleague, Rabbi Koren, is with some of our teens in Washington, D.C. this weekend. But we are so grateful to be joined on the Bima tonight by Mitchell Summers and Beth Goldstein, who will help lead us in song, and really want to invite you to share your voices as well. So, and of course, our amazing pianist, accompaniment, CJ, playing beautiful music. So page 648 for Shir Chadash. On page 121, it is my joy to invite up Rachel and Lucy Miller to help us with our candle lightings while they make their way to the Bima. I just want to note that Lucy is here tonight in honor of her 4th birthday to light our Shabbos candles. She brings her parents each week to Shabbat. And Lucy, I want to say one thing because, you know, it's a birthday, and normally when we have birthday candles, what do we do? What do we do?
We light them.
We light them, and then what do we do to them? We blow them.
We blow them out.
We blow them out. But the amazing thing about Shabbat candles, and why I'm so excited that you're lighting Shabbat candles in honor of your birthday, is because these are the kind of candles we don't blow out. Because they are a reminder of just how bright our life, our lights can be. So may our light shine just as brightly this Shabbat as Lucy shines for her 4th birthday. We're on page 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light unto all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
I've never seen somebody so excited.
I know.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiyishinonu b'mitzvotah, v'tzivanu l'halak ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Let's follow that with that blessing in song, our whole community with Lucy tonight. You ready? Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotah, v'tzivanu
l'halak ner shel
Oh my God. This is our future Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, just so you know. I got my eye on you.
Wow. Well, if that hasn't brightened your spirit, I don't know what will. On page 603, can I borrow that, Kim? Perfect, thank you.
Do you want me to get out the chocolates?
Yes, please. We'll take a moment to offer blessings to one another. Mitchell and Beth are going to help hand out some chocolates to us so that we might share in the sweetness of Shabbat. So just for a moment, turn to the person next to you and say Shabbat Shalom, say hello, tell them your name if you don't know each other. As our chocolate makes its way around, just remember how important it is to know who we are with, to know one another, both our names and also something about ourselves, because this is our special community and we're going to offer blessings tonight with this special community. So if you're comfortable, put your arm around someone that you love or maybe your neighbor, just make sure it's okay. You can ask them. And we'll repeat after me. Yivarechecha Adonai, v'yishmerecha. May God bless you, and may God keep you. Ya'er Adonai, panav elecha, v'chuneka. May God's light shine on you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai, panav elecha, v'yasem lecha, shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Trade that delicious sweet piece of candy with someone close by. As Rabbi Andy likes to say, sweetness is better shared. We are back in our prayer book on page 146. Michael, if you would do us the honor of coming up and opening our ark for us as we rise together for the Baruch Hu. stay standing, turning to page 149 tonight, and we'll talk about it a bit more in just a bit, but this week is a week of freedom in our Torah. We read about our liberation from Egypt, and so these readings, this one on the page and this one that Mitchell's going to share with us before Shema, help to frame our experience of freedom this Shabbat.
This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. But what lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hamari harani. Dear God, when we think about freedom and liberation, we tend to think in broader terms. Those who live in repressive societies, those who live in a land of oppression and persecution. And though these are indeed people and societies that are deserving of our deepest and most meaningful prayers, let us not forget about our own spiritual journey of freedom. We best serve God and God's children, and we ourselves are free of personal oppression and repression. When our load is lessened of self-discrimination, we tend not to be so discriminating towards others. When we are less judgmental of ourselves, we have more capacity to embrace others for who they truly are. The more we let go of being so hard on ourselves, the more freedom we have to be compassionate and accepting of others' limitations or shortcomings. Just as God has given me in my later years the magnificent gift and blessing to truly celebrate who I am, let each of us also seek and embrace our inner freedom and liberation. And in turn, let it be shared with others so that all of our sisters and brothers may cross over to a world of self-acceptance and acceptance of others, a world of self-love and deep love of others. This is how we change the world. Amen.
With those beautiful words of freedom on our hearts, thank you, Mitchell. We'll turn to our Shema, a declaration of God's oneness, the oneness in our hearts, and the oneness in the community, and sing together Shema.
Shema Yisrael.
You may be seated. We turn the page to 154 and chant together Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'barim ha'elam asher Elohim Tzavacha hayom levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shofbecha u'kumecha u'shartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני Elohechem. So one of the things about experiencing freedom is that you have a chance to try new things. And I said to my friends this week, can we try something new? So turn the page to page 157. This beautiful reading, Standing on the Parted Shores of History, was actually set to music. We've never really had the chance to sing this before, and tonight we'd like to share it, and there'll be a part for you to sing with us too. The part of that song that you'll sing, Yai La La Lai. So I know you can do it, and in fact, we're going to do it twice to make sure we all have a chance to join in, because after that, we are going to turn the page and share in our prayer of freedom, Micha Mocha, on the next page. So please turn to page 157, and we'll share these words in song and invite you to join us as well.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught. Before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt.
That there's a better place, a promised land, and the winding way to the promised land over the wilderness. That there's no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together, singing la 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 la. All of us together. At the bottom of page 158, we read that closing blessing together. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Turning to page 161. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadow of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch
atah Adonai, haporesucha shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
We're turning to page 164 as we rise for our tefillah and invite our friends to open our ark for us tonight, page 164. You may be seated. As we turn to page 178, our prayer of peace, which asks that God spread a big kind of shelter of peace, a shalom rav, literally a big peace over all Israel and over all the world. And I feel like this week we really need a really big shelter of peace. A shelter of all those who are hurting after the tragedy in Washington, D.C. Those who are praying, we're all holding Keith Siegel from North Carolina here in our hearts as he is slated to be released this Shabbat. There is so much peace needed in the world. And as I ask our friends at Kesher often, I'll ask you now and ask myself, how are we going to be people who put peace in the world? So as we share this prayer of peace, let us think about the ways that we can bring peace to the world today, tomorrow, this week, and for years to come. After we share this prayer of peace, we will pause for a few moments of our own silent reflection. Page 178.
Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Sim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Shalom Rava.
Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lehu hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lehu hashalom. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha livarech et amcha Yisrael. Mecholit uvechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Page 180 in the middle of the page.
Adonai
Shabbat Shalom. So, Passover is my favorite Jewish holiday, second only to Hanukkah, of course. But in all seriousness, the theme of freedom and liberation and hope that are celebrated at Passover are so central to our Jewish identity and our way of being in the world that, in fact, we consider them not only at the Passover Seder and throughout the week of the holiday, but every year when we read this week's Torah portion, Parashat Bo. In fact, not only do we think about these themes at Passover and during the reading of this week's Torah portion, but in actuality, it is part of our daily consciousness when we sing our people's prayer of freedom, Micha Mocha, as Mitchell and Beth and CJ did so beautifully tonight. This week's Torah portion, Parashat Bo, includes the last 3 of the 10 plagues that befell the Egyptian people during the Exodus, namely the plagues of locusts, of darkness, and death of the firstborn. The penultimate plague, the plague of darkness, seems a bit out of place between locusts and the death of the firstborn. It is seemingly a less destructive plague than the other 2. After all, it gets dark every night, and somehow we manage to get through it. But our Torah portion notes that this was not like regular natural darkness. No, this was 3 solid days of darkness that the Torah describes as darkness that could be touched. A person is described as though they could not see their brother or their sister, and for 3 days, the Torah says, a person could not rise if they were sitting, and a person really was unable to move around at all. There was really nothing the average Egyptian could do to end the misery of the 10 plagues that had befallen Egypt, which seems to be true, except for this plague of darkness. One has to ask themselves, when the plague of darkness came, why didn't the Egyptians just light some fires or lamps to bring into their homes? What kept them from trying to create light for themselves with the tools that they surely had with them in the land of Egypt? In normal darkness, our eyes slowly adjust to the darkness around us. Perhaps you've had that experience before in a dark room, and slowly you're able to understand or see the outlines just a little bit more. But this did not happen in Egypt. Rather, the Torah emphasizes that the darkness was so dark that it could be felt. The Midrash in Exodus Rabbah states that during the plague of darkness, as I said before, literally a person who was sitting could not stand up, and a person that was standing up could not sit down. It was complete and total physical darkness. When the locust of the plague right before this one, the 8th plague, covered Egypt, the Torah also described that the land was completely dark from a mass of swarming insects. That would terrify me. But the locust darkness seems to have been a more regular kind of darkness. Darkness that would have been solved by burning something or making a fire to light the immediate surroundings in Egypt. It did not cover Egypt in the same way. There are many ideas and thoughts from ancient and modern rabbis and commentators alike about this darkness of the 9th plague and why it was so very different, why it was beyond that of regular darkness. One of my favorites suggests that the plague of darkness was a return to the primordial darkness before God had even created light on the very first day. There was no longer light or even the concept of light in Egypt. The behavior of Pharaoh and his tyranny was so dark and so chaotic that it was like a time before the creation of the world. A powerful idea, perhaps for today as well, about the fact that our behavior has the ability to destroy as much as we have the power to create through our words and our deeds. Another explanation of the plague of darkness is that it represents the darkness of extreme egotism and stubbornness. As the plagues come through Egypt one by one, Pharaoh's advisors protest and implore Pharaoh to allow the Israelites to at least let the people go and worship their God. They beg, "Are you not aware, Pharaoh, that Egypt is lost?" Egypt is lost, and Pharaoh ignores his own people. One modern commentator asks, Pharaoh ignores them because he cares only about himself and his own pride. He does not recognize anyone around him as his brother or even as a human being. Thus, Pharaoh is cut off not only from affection with the final plague of the death of the firstborn, but also from the possibility of enlightenment. Pharaoh is incapable of learning from other people. Similarly, the choshech afela, which is what the Torah calls it, this profound darkness, cuts off the Egyptians too from any possibility of light. At first, Pharaoh hardened his own heart. Over time, it becomes a habit from which only a divine intervention can shake him loose. But God keeps his heart hardened so that Pharaoh does not change. In the plague of darkness, all Egyptians experience Pharaoh's immobility and his inability to change. Finally, another explanation of the plague of darkness is that the Egyptians have a profound sense of hopelessness. My colleague, Rabbi Eve Posen, explains that the darkness represents an entire group of people in what she calls a deep depression, a psychological or spiritual darkness. She goes on to explain that the behaviors of the Egyptians themselves, they are people suffering from depression, and they often lack the physical energy to move or the emotional energy to get out of their own heads. This is exactly how the Egyptians are described. We can only guess what the emotional state of the Egyptians might have been, but the Torah is clear in its message. When we are enveloped in the plague of darkness, we lose reason, we lose compassion, and I dare say we even lose ourselves. Only the Egyptians experienced the profound plague of darkness, though. The Torah emphasizes that l'chol b'nei Yisrael haya or b'moshvotam. During this plague of darkness, the Israelites enjoyed light in their dwellings. So what can we learn from this? The Egyptians were supposedly free, the Israelites slaves, and yet it is the Egyptians that suffer from thick darkness. The Israelites were not free, but they did not experience the plague of darkness. Indeed, our freedom comes with great responsibilities. The Shabbat, as we recall our people's liberation from Egypt, may this understanding of the plague of darkness remind us not only of the ways that we bring light to the world, but also our responsibility to work to dispel darkness in the world around us. Each of us and all of us together, we bring light to the world. And together, hand in hand, marching through the sea, we have the capacity to help dispel the darkness that surrounds us. We can get from here to there by joining hands, marching together, and holding hope for a better future in our hearts. Shabbat Shalom. Right, Sue up to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Sue Simmons, and on behalf of the Board of Directors, welcome to Temple Emmanuel. You all have your handouts with what's coming up, and I just want to highlight a few of those for you. Next Friday is our Repro Shabbat, which will be a Shabbat to learn about reproductive freedom and how that's a Jewish value, so we hope you'll join then. And on February 21st, Shabbat starts here with Linda Wertheimer, which I just learned is not the same Linda Wertheimer from NPR. But she will be talking to us. There's a $18 per person dinner, so we hope you'll join for that. And then on Sunday, next Sunday, February 9th, at the Bog Garden, this sounds lovely actually for Tu B'Shvat, we will be doing a tour of the Bog Garden and plant a tree in the garden in celebration of Tu B'Shvat. So we hope you'll look at everything and join where and if you can. So Shabbat Shalom.
So again, I just want to say hello if you're watching Rabbi Andy and our teens in Washington, D.C. And I also want to say hello to Debbie, who wasn't feeling well tonight. We are missing you, and we're hoping you're feeling better soon. And to that, we turn to our prayer of healing on page 371, our prayer of Mishaberach. As I've shared before, this prayer of healing, not just for those who are in need of healing of body, spirit, mind, but truly for all of us, as I shared, it has been such a challenging week. I saw a meme, maybe this resonates for you. Someone said this year, it's only January, and here we are, 2025. So I don't know, I think we can use extra special prayers of healing and hope. So we'll share this first part of the blessing for all of us, that we might have the strength to make our lives a blessing, and then stop and pause and think of those in our lives we are thinking of for healing tonight, and offer the second part of this blessing for them.
Source of strength, who bless the one
turn to page 586 in our prayer books for Aleinu L'Shabbat. Lucy, how did you know I was going to call you back up to open our ark? Will you help us? She's already there. How did I know? We rise together. We turn our thoughts to those whom death has recently taken from us, or those who died at this season in years past. Tonight we're thinking of Ted Dice, brother of Ginger and Rich Wald, Bob Wright, longtime companion of Brenda Henley, Peggy Tager, mother of Kent Tager, Larry Maxwell Levy, husband of Peggy Levy, father of Erica Levy Ringel. And we also are on the back of our handout holding in our hearts the memories of those for Yahrzeit this Shabbat, those who died at this season in years past. Shirley Bassovin, William Berkelhammer, Bernice Chabro, Elizabeth Clark, Jess Colchamiro, Ellis Freibush, Esther Goldfarb, Norma Hitchcock, Irving Isaacson, Rita Levine, William Little, Betty Peak, Flora Jo Piltz, Helen Rhodes, Susan Rhodes, Betty Solomon, Hollis Thomas. If I pronounced any of those names wrong, or if there are others who are remembering loved ones tonight, I invite you to rise and share their name aloud with us. Together as one holy community, one Kehillah Kedoshah, we rise together for Kaddish, which may be found on page 598. We join together. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'yomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'tadar, v't'aleh, v't'halal, shmei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen, yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Say shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. I want to take a moment just to also share the name of Bonnie Corson Wiener, who wasn't listed here, whose funeral I had the honor of being with this past Thursday, if family is watching. So we include her in our prayers of memory as well. It is so good to be together. It's nice to share this time. We are going to conclude with Hine Matov, how good truly it is to be together in community on page 128. Mitchell, Beth, let's come out into the community. If you're so inclined, find a friend to put your arm around. Be connected here. We'll meet in the lobby for Kiddush and Motzi. Truly, we hope it's a Shabbat of shalom and a Shabbat of renewal. And let's sing together. Shabbat shalom. We'll meet in the lobby for Kiddush and Motzi.